anyị aga ọfọ si na ọ ga-adịrị anyị na mma. Anyị akpọkwo ndị ezumezu, kpọkwo ndị iche, kpọkwo ndị nna nna anyị, akpọkwo aja anị, kpọkwo mmiri, kpọkwo ikuku, kpọkwo ọkwụ, kpọkwo amadịọha, kpọkwo ebe niile anyị si bi ụwa na ihe niile bịara anyị ụwa na chi ụwa anyị na onye ụwa anyị. Kpọkwo ndị mmụọ, ndị mmiri anyị, ndị agba anyị na mmụọ ma ndị dị ndụ. Kpọkwo ha si ihe niile na-arụrụ ala Igbo ọrụ ọma na anyị akpọkwo ụnụ si ụnụ bịa n'ebe anyị chọrọ ịga ọfụ, asị ka ụnụ nọ anyị gburugburu na anyị chọrọ ịga ọfụ. Na anyị asị odigiri ogwugwu etọtị ngene ofilite ngwa ofilite aja anyị uwe ala uwe ukwu na mgbidi. Anyị akpọkwo ogi, anyị akpọkwo nna nna anyị ekweri dịka ọnwa Okafọ, kpọkwo ụmụnna mụrụ nna m Paulinus mezuru ike, akpọkwo m ndị iche, kpọkwo ndị niile na-arụ m ọrụ, kpọkwo mmiri niile na-agara m ozi, kpọkwo ihe eke na ofeme. Akpọkwo ụmụ ụnụ sị na taa ọfọ m na-aga ọwụ na ọ ga-adịrị m mma, na ọ ga-adịrị ụmụnne m mma, na ọ ga-adịrị obodo m mma, na ihe ọma ga-abịa na ndụ m, na ihe niile ga-abụ ọnwụ bụrụ mgbochi ka ụnụ kwapụrụ m ya, ka ụnụ na-eji m ụzọ m na-akụzi m etu m ga-esi na-ebi ụwa, na ụwa ga-adịrị m mma, na onye ọbụla gọziri m na ụnụ ga-agọzi ya, onye ọbụla chọrọ m okwu bọọ m ọnụ na ụnụ ga-amụnyere ha ọkwụ, na onye ọbụla chọrọ isi m na ọ ga-eji ala zere mmiri. Na-asị m n'ụbọchị taa na ọ ga-adịrị m mana ọganiru na ihe ọma ka m ga-afụ. Leta m ga-ahụ ya na eke, ka nwanne m nwoke ga-ahụkwa ya, ka ụmụnne m ga-ahụ ya, ka nna m ga-ahụ ya, ka nne m ga-ahụ ya, ka ndị obodo anyị ga-ahụ ya, ka ala Igbo ga-ahụ ya, maka na ọ ga-adịrị ndị niile na-eme ihe ọma mma. Ise. So today I'm going to talk about something. And what I'm going to talk about yes, what I'm going to talk about today. What I'm going to talk about today is there is a reason why your prayers are not being answered, and that you need yourself more than you need prayer. That's going to be the title. What do I mean? You know, most times we pray, God, I want this contract, I want this money, I want this man, I want this land, I want this, I want that. And then you give a time frame for it to happen. You say, this is when I want it to happen. I'm in a hurry for it. I need it done like this. I need it done like this. See, when you put your mindset in this frame, it tends to deviate or push you away from the human role you are supposed to play. You are supposed to play in that journey. You know, you are the first determinant and you are the last determinant and you are the last effect resultant. Until you stand up to begin to play that role as a God, that even if these prayers don't work, that there is the effort you are making for it to work, and that there is the role you are playing for it to work. What do I mean? If we rely all of our needs, all of our help in the hands of the gods, then we have failed as human, because we are the first gods that we are looking for. So when you make those prayers and they are not answered immediately as you want them, there is a reason why those prayers are not answered immediately as you want them. Because one, you have to play the human role, the human factor role. How do you play the human factor role? You begin to decide that this is how I will behave, and that this is how I will not behave, that this is my attitude, and that this is the way I will live, that I will not cheat people, that I will be honest, that I will pursue education, and that after education that I'm going to pursue extra knowledge, and that these are the things that will guide me to achieve my aim in life. You see, you're already playing a role in that prayer. You are already bringing the God factor first, even before the prayer works. Because prayer does not really work without works. We need to accept the God role we play in our prayer request. We need to pursue the God role that we play in our prayer request. What do I mean? You pray to God that you want to go to outside country, you want to go and study, you want to make money, you want your name to be known. That's a good prayer. But before then, you need to write international exam. You need to have some certifications. You need to have experience. If you leave the human role you are supposed to play and lay more emphasis on the God role, pursuing juju, going to native doctors, going to pastor to help you to push the force, you need to be the potential force that will be kinetic. You need to start something. You need to play the God role. You need to know that you are that God that is going to exercise the manifestation of the prayer. You build a mentality that teaches you and that prepares you before prayer is answered. Then you begin to ask, then we don't really need God. Of course. Do we really need God? Before we begin to need God, we need to need ourselves. We need to do our own role. Then we now hand over to God. And then when you hand over to God, you don't really rely that it must be the way you said it or the time frame you want it. No, because most times they are setting things for you, delaying some things for you so that you will know who is who, know who is your friend, know who is your enemy, know who should be your partner, know who should do business with you, while in the course of that prayer is still waiting for manifestation. So that when that prayer comes into existence, when the prayer is answered, you will mentally prepare to carry the energy, the force, and the gifts that comes with the prayer. It demands that there will be a period of suffering. There will be a period of preparation. Let us not all think people are going to streams of joy. That is where miracle is happening. Woo, all of you wish. Eroi, the God that knows my heart. What role have you played in your own heart? Let us continue pursuing winners, pursuing redeem. Deeper life is this or whatever. No. That deeper life, that error exists here first. You are that first temple you are looking for. For it is when you prepare yourself before there will be manifestation. Which human role have you played? What are your inputs already? What are the foundational grants you've laid before you start depending on God? We all need the God factor. That is true. But while we are needing the God factor, discover that you are the first God that you are looking for. So that you are not drained or chained to somebody's entitlement that you need to pay 10% or native doctor that you need to continue going to renew power to protect you. Lay your foundation before you pursue the gods. For the gods are not to blame for our failures. It is human who failed. For the gods did their part and we did not do our part. Prepare for the path of success while you are pursuing success. Mana ome ife, nya jidokwa ọfọ, nya na-aga ọfọ. Na-achụ aja maka na nwata ji aja anọrọ efu n'ụzọ na ọnwa anọrọ egbu nwata ji aja. Mana onye na-achụ aja na-agba mbọ maka na onye na-achụ aja na-ama na nyawa ugodu Chukwu ahụ ọ na-achọ first before ọ na-achọ ihe ọzọ. A sịkwa nke ọ dịrị unu mma n'ụbọchị taa na anyị akụzichago na nke taa ka anyị kwu. You are the God and there is reason why there is delay in your prayer answering because there are some things you need to lay as foundation before prayers will be answered. It's a two-way thing, two-factor authentication. You do your role before the gods do their role. If you feel because you don't need to do your role, then do we really need the gods if you have done your role? If you've done your role, you need the gods because when wealth comes, it is the authority here that will protect you. Your pastors don't tell you this. The people who have used Ogboni to hijack the authority of this land don't tell you this. The people who have used dark power to hijack wealth, hijack the good things that should be for all of us while they're enjoying alone, does not tell you that you need to prepare yourself first before the God factor. And that we all need the God factor because it is the God factor that protects against all things. It is the dominion of all authorities. Onye na-aghọta nwata na-achụ ego na-achụ akara aka ya na-achụ ụwa ya na-ebu ụzọ first dozigoro ụzọ nke ya na idozizi ụzọ gị ichewaza ka ndị mmụọ doziere gị nke fọrọ. You want to be a first class graduate, but you don't read, you don't study, you don't go to collect data, you don't interpret, you don't put your brain to, you want to pray to God to make a first class graduate. You want to be a successful engineer, and in the midst of suffering, you don't know, now that I'm suffering, why not I use it to learn this thing in engineering, learn this aspect of engineering, move my engineering skills from the potential form to kinetic form by learning ICT skills that helps to improve your engineering ideologies. You don't want to make your human input, or because you've just prayed that the miracle should happen under 2 years and then it didn't happen and you lose faith. No, you need to follow the process and trust it, because it is not about your time. It is when destiny calls. Jishi ni ike na amaragodu na anyị wawu chukwu anyị na-achọ before anyị na-achọ chukwu ọzọ. Ngwa ka ọ dịkwara anyị mma taa, ka ụbọchị taa dị ọfụma, ka unu gaa nke ọma. Ọ ga-adịrị unu niile na-ege m ntị ọfụma. Ọ bụrụ unu na-esoro ụzọ m na-akụzi unu, ihe ga-adịrịrị unu na mma n'okwu ọfọ. Odigiri ji ogbugbu ji etọchi ji ihe m na-ekwu eziokwu. If you follow the things I say, my principles, my models, it will work for you in life.